I'm on the left.
Let's call this meeting to order, please. Roll call, Jags.
Eric.
Here.
Bertel. Here. Fitzgerald.
Here.
Giller. Here. Irvin.
Here.
Shoot. Mayor.
Here.
Here.
All right, make sure your cell phones are off or on vibrate. Please stand for prayer, please.
Anybody want to wave, please? Good out.
Let us pray, O Lord.
That we who serve your people in public office may have your blessings and guidance in our deliberations and decisions, so that what we accomplish here this evening will be just and beneficial to the people whom we serve.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, reading and approval of minutes. The 8th.
Everybody has a copy of the minutes. The blog was attached in the back. I watched through the video thing, so it should be pretty accurate, even for George.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we accept the minutes from the January 8th meeting as presented at this time.
Second. Jack.
Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Irvin.
I have one thing I just saw. Sorry. On page 2, middle of the page, where you're referencing me talking about EJ Khan, the new database is referencing to the county properties, which my thought is maybe there will be some way to get there, a list of rentals. So not a database about rentals, but new database concerning county properties from which we may be able to get a list of rental properties. So with that little modification, I will say yes.
Okay, I'll correct that for you. Fielder.
Yes.
Irvin.
Yes.
Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Eric.
Yes.
Bertel. Yes.
Any petitions and communications?
Right.
Okay. And now I have a proclamation that I'd like to read. Whereas Darlene Hoff will celebrate her 100th birthday on January 25th, and whereas Darlene was a longtime member of the Mingo Juniors Women's Club, the Mingo Senior Women's Club, and the GFWC Women's Club, and served as president from 1984 to 1988. And whereas Darlene with her husband Don operated a Hoff Funeral Home in Mingo Junction for many years. And whereas Darlene was previously honored as the Mingo Lions Club Citizen of the Year, the Mingo Business Association Community Service Award, was an editor of the Mingo Bicentennial History in 1970, and was an organizer of the historical pageant Echoes of the Valley in 1976. And whereas Darlene has always been an avid supporter of all things Mingo and is deserving a special recognition by the village of Mingo Junction on this epic birthday. Now therefore, I, Edward Fitton, do hereby pronounce and proclaim January 25th, 2019 as Darlene Hoff Day in the village of Mingo Junction in honor of Darlene's lifetime accomplishments. And Stephanie, I'll sign this and present it to you, where you present it to Darlene.
Yes, sir.
There, tell her happy birthday if you see her before the 25th.
Oh, we will. Thank you.
And I think we sent cards up.
Yes.
She will, yeah.
Thank you. And the Women's Club would like to thank the council for sending out their cards.
My pleasure.
Thank you for coming down and giving us information, the ideas, and the
Providing
cards.
the cards, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay, nothing else that I have. I'll turn this over to the village administrator, Bob.
How's everybody doing tonight? Warm out there. Let's thaw it out a little bit. As far as the update, met with Steve, who's happens to be in the audience back there, from Thrasher, Steve Hammett. And we looked at the site down there, and I think we pretty much have decided where we want to put our EQ tank. Might have to buy a little bit of property, but it'll be the best place. It's 500 feet away from our well. We're not going to have to move any roads, not going to have to do anything, especially a lot of excavation. We won't have to do hardly any excavation. So we think we got the best choice right now. I don't know who gave the information to the lady that did the paper, but that's the $5 million, not to do North Hill. If we're going to do North Hill for $5 million, that road's going to be lined in gold. Okay, so it was misquoted, but we're looking probably at $5 million possibly, but we're looking to maybe cut that back too. But that $5 million gets you a new grid system, gets you an EQ tank, gets you storm source separation, and gets the EPA off our back. Everything would be complete. Am I misstating that? So that's a lot better than spending $15 million to get it done, and it's a lot better. We will have a grit system in place that will help with our pumps and everything else. Replace all the pumps. We're probably operating about 60% efficiency, maybe there. Like I said, you put variable frequency drives on those things, and you're going to have a lot of energy savings, and we're going to have a nice system down there, guys. So we might as well get it done now. Get everything repaired, get it done.
Do we have a willing property owner down there who's willing to work with us, or? Is that
We're finding that
approach
out.
yet?
We're still working on that. If not, we have different ways to make them work with us. We have waterboarding and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. One way or another, whatever it takes.
I know where you live. I can't help it, your tires are slashed. No. Anyhow, no, we're working with folks. So, the second one is it's over with. Like I said, I got the funding out there. This is where we got the additional funding. I say additional funding, it was actually the funding that we had there, but when you had the quotes come in so low, they only give you 62% of the construction cost. And we would have probably been out $60,000 or $70,000 without getting those funding. I am going to go out and try to get bids on North Hill here real soon to get that paved. I'm trying to get our major thoroughfares paved. And what I want to do is get North Hill up to 5 points and probably go at least 15 or 20 yards each way on 5 points. I know we have a lot of roads that are in bad shape, but we only have so much money. And like I said, we did McClister, and even with this storm source separation, we probably will get a portion of that road redone again. Because like I said, I'm not going to go with the crossovers, and we might be able to sneak that in with that project. I shouldn't say sneak, I didn't say sneak. We're going to go with the project. So we do have some bad roads. I don't know what we're going to do yet. I'm going to have to look at our budget to see. Like I said, I'm looking at that one technique where the guy comes in, but I need a topper to do that. I'm going to talk to some folks about chip and seal, if that can serve as a topper, possibly. I know people don't like chip and seal, but when you do it right, you put fog on the top of it, which is another sealant, it's not that bad. And if I can get 6 miles of road done with this technique and use that possibly as a topper, you're talking maybe $500,000 to get this done. If I have to bring Shelley and Sands to put the topper coat on it, it's $1 million. But I mean, I can get 6 miles of road possibly done and the topper put on it for possibly $500,000. So, and we need 6 miles of road done in this town. I mean, West Boulevard up there, Valley, I mean, they're a mess. I mean, I don't, we're going to have to do something with them. I can't patch them anymore. You just can't patch them anymore. So anyhow, we'll just have to sit down with the mayor. And like I said, I had a study done that shows how bad our roads are. I don't know if there's any grants out there or whatever else to try to get some of this stuff done. Usually residential, there's not a lot out there, but industrial there is. That's what we got this last time. So we'll just have to take a look. We're going to try to do something because we got to get on a program here to take care of these roads. And if the mill starts kicking up, we'll get back on a program to do at least try to do 2 or 3 roads a year, get that taken care of. The Zener meters come in at $401,000, George. Okay. Now we're not a real fan of Zener meters. We're not a real fan of that AMI. I know that you're a big fan of AMI, so we will have to sit down and talk about it.
Does that number include installation? Or
No,
just the
not at
meters
all.
themselves?
Just the meters. Yeah. I talked to Saltzman up there for Forest Tube Maintenance, and it was $45 a meter to put in. I think I could get that worked way down, possibly. And also, if we just go in there and just put the tops on, you know, the brand new tops, that number will come way down. So I really want to push to possibly try to get 500 meters in this year. I really do. And I think our AMRs are good. I'm gonna argue with, because we can still monitor those AMRs. We can tell what the kind of water usage they have. Yeah, we don't have down to the minute, but I don't care about that, George. I don't sit in front of them and worry about that minute by minute stuff, okay? But I can tell if you flushed your toilet with these AMRs. I can tell if you're using water. I can tell if you're messing with it. Matter of fact, we have a few out there right now. We think that, you know, we're gonna have a little discussion with some folks. So these are good meters. They're good meters. And if I can get 400 or 500 in, that's just about a third of what we have in this
Can you
town.
lock 'em? Can you lock them? Put a ring around and lock them so that they can't be tampered with?
You probably could do something, but I'm going to tell you right now. If somebody wants to tamper with something, they're going to do it. But if they do tamper with these, though, you know it right off the bat. Okay, you know that something's wrong because it will show no water usage. So you got folks out there that can do about anything, Jags, if they want to do it. We're cold patching in areas when we need it. You know, after this last snowfall, I'm sure there's going to be some craters out there. We'll try to take care of them. But people have to understand, okay? You know, we're just throwing that money away, guys, okay? Because they're not going to last very long. It's not going to last very long. The next snow might pop right back out. So, you know, like I said, we got some roads that are in pretty bad shape. Advertise for park manager. I don't think anybody's knocking down my door yet. This may become an issue. This may become an issue. You need somebody up there very qualified to do this. Not only do they have a headache with the kids and everything, a lot of money passes through there. You have to have somebody very qualified to do this. So maybe something we have to get together with the recreation folks and talk about. I am going to put out the position for operator. I'm going to demand that they have a Class 1 license also. We don't have that in the present write-up, but I'm going to start changing things where you have to be qualified. You have to have qualifications to take these jobs. I'm not going to put anybody in jobs anymore and say that you have this much time to get your license. Either you got your license or you're not getting the job. Never say never. I may change that, but right now, that's my stance.
Was that water treatment plant?
Yeah,
you were
water
talking
treatment,
about?
yeah. Repaired 3 water line leaks. We had a big one up on my hill. So we still have a leak somewhere, we're pretty sure. We just got to find it. Ordered 200 ton of salt. I actually called them again today. I actually called a person, and I'm hoping to get the salt in here by the end of the week. You know, people don't realize, this is the other thing too. If they're calling you, you know, they can call me, whatever. First of all, we're paying a lot of money for that salt, okay? $102 a ton. If it's going to give me 8 inches of snow, I'm not going out there and putting the salt down and then plow it back off and then put salt down and plow it back off. People need to stay off the road. Once this snow stops, we'll get out there and we will clean these roads. You know, I got a call, it was the last night, I don't know, my days run together, but it was like 15 degrees out. Salt doesn't work. 15 degrees, it's just not going to work. It's just going to slide right off. And they got down to 8 or 7 degrees last night, okay? So, you know, people just need to be responsible and not be on the street when we got a snowstorm coming. Because I'm not going to go and waste our salt. I'm just not going to do it. So, I mean, we're going to try to be as safe as possible, but they have to understand also they have a responsibility too. So, that's all I got to say. Because, like I said, nobody really called me about it. Anybody get any calls about, you know, because our crews did a very good job. I got a call at 3 in the morning. I had them out at 5 in the morning. And they had everything done probably about I was out about 8 or 9 o'clock. They had everything done. And we did put actually salt on the level areas too because it was ice. We usually don't hit those level areas with salt. Okay, so we're not a village that has a lot of money like we used to.
And I must admit, I was been around to other areas of the county and
We were
stuff.
pretty good,
We
don't we?
were probably the best of all the ones I've seen, so I must commend you and all the guys working and doing an excellent job.
Those guys do a great job. I mean, you know, they really do. You know, I can't thank them enough. I can't thank all my guys that work for me. My service department, wastewater, you know, and water treatment. They all do a very good job. You know, we're undermanned a little bit. You know, hopefully, like I said, mill gets kicked up a little bit. We'll start manning up a little more, like I told you before. But we're not going to start spending like sailors. Okay, we're going to be conservative, try to get this town back to where it needs to be. But we're going to do it in a conservative way. At least I hope we do. As you all know, my service director had health issues, and he's my man. That's all I got.
Bob, I told you I'd bring it up. May as well.
Oh, yeah, okay, about the signs. We got 2 signs that were knocked down. The championship sign and something else. Who was it? Pete
It's mine
Berkey?
and Pete Berkey's, yeah. Our 88 undefeated team one was okay,
Yeah.
but mine and Pete's both on there. I talked to Jimmy Freiling about it, and he called me that the guy's going to give us a break-in for the signs, but we have to get it past $100 a sign. They were a lot more than that, but he said he'd do it for, the 2 of them for 100 each.
So, do we want to pick that up?
I mean, it was city property at the time. That
What happened to it? Did somebody hit it?
Somebody hit it.
Accident?
Yeah, it was an
Can't
accident.
run or?
Yeah.
He was coming down North Hill, he turned to get on the highway right there, and it was all snow.
But do
And
we
he
know
slid all the
who
way
did it?
across, and
Well, we don't really know. Some people may know, but I know I don't know.
There was no police report then.
I
well,
don't think there
the
was a
guy
report.
that saw it, he won't say anything.
Yeah, I don't think it was a police report or anything.
No. So, I would ask council if it's okay with them. Do we need to vote on that, Ernie?
No, you just make sure you put the money, for $100, make sure you just have enough money in in the budget when you do your budget.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, I don't, the blade wasn't here last night in the paper, last time. Again, people are getting phone calls about this gas and electric.
I told you we're fine.
I know that there was nothing in the paper, okay?
Oh, okay.
I think that we should tell her, the gas expires
Yeah, did you write it down? 'Cause I'd like to-
December of 2019.
Okay,
We're good to that.
yes.
And electric is November of 2020.
Yeah. Yeah, I called the guy right up. And he was
So
like this.
if people are getting phone calls about gas and electric, no, our contract's in.
We're still under it. We're still in effect.
The ones that called me, I had about 12 calls.
Is that right?
And I told them, these are just people sending them out.
That's all they're doing.
You are under ours, and it's still in effect.
We don't have the lady from the paper here.
Yeah, she's back.
Okay, I'll tell you what, I'll get together with you.
Yeah,
After this
I'm
vote.
not real sure what you got. Are you talking about like they're getting the advertisements
This
changed?
is aggregation stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like change your provider to this person or that.
Well,
Yeah.
right now, it's still in effect.
Yeah, we
But
still-
people are getting things in the mail,
Yeah,
you
and then
know.
people come knock.
They're saying that, our stuff is expired and like, they come over to
Yeah.
them. It's
They're
really
very, I
fraudulent.
know exactly what you're talking about. I've had them knock on my door. They're very,
Okay.
very misleading.
I'll get together with you
Yeah,
after this and we'll
Absolutely.
put some statements together.
Thank you.
Steve, I see you back there. You got anything to say?
No, sir, I think Bob did a very good job.
Okay. Nice to see you here, though.
Thanks, Steve. I'll give you the 20 later.
Jags, you have anything?
No, they only have, Kim has come back to work. She came back today for about half a day or so, to do payroll and stuff, and then, she's gonna try and come back in. She has her first, doctor's appointment Thursday, and she's gonna come in Thursday afternoon, and then hopefully by the beginning of next week, she'll be back full time, and she and I will get together and start hammering everything out, so,
All right,
as long as everything's okay with her, so.
good. Ernie, you have anything?
No, I have nothing.
Kyle, what you got, Kyle? Yeah, you-
Just making poop sickles, Mayor, that's about it, that's all I'm gonna report.
everything all right down the plan?
We're pulling through.
All right, thanks.
A little sunshine wouldn't hurt.
You'll get it tomorrow. 48. Well, it's gonna be 48 though.
All right, I see Chief Sagan's not here. Chief Wright, you have anything?
Yes. First, like to see when we're going to sit down with department heads for budget talks and our request for the new year. Everything, our fire turnout gear I obtained with a grant back in 2012. It's good for 10 years. So in just a few years, again, we're going to be in need of gear. It's a year-long process, so you're talking a couple years before if we were even awarded the grant to get the money to spend. So
What
with
kind of gear, Johnny?
our fire turnout gear,
Turn around.
bunker gear, yes. So last time it was roughly $100,000. We got on a grant. It cost us maybe $6,000, our cost. So with your permission, the cost is $600 with the application and everything to apply for it. So we need your permission to go forward with that again. And then if we are awarded it, we're given the $600 back.
And if you're not, it's gone.
I can reapply again next year for free with a grant. It's a grant writer. Basically, they review. I, in the end, have to do all the work, but the grant writer has connections with the people from FEMA. She used to work there. They have a high success rate. We did get it for the SEBAs and the turnout gear, 2012, 2013. So hard to believe that many years gone by this quick already, but we're going to have to see about start. Otherwise, if we don't, then that's going to be on us, the full $100,000.
We'll just make sure we get it in the budget, that's all, this is $100.
Yeah.
How many you talking about?
How many sets?
Yeah.
Probably 22. And actually the helmets that we currently have, we did not buy with the grant last time. Because, Jack had purchased those just a year before I took over as chief, so our helmets were okay. But the helmets actually expired at the end of last year, so I'm going to have to request money for helmets this year. It's approximately $6,000 for all new helmets. That I'm working on that year-end report for you, Mayor, for run statistics. I should have that for you next meeting.
I appreciate that.
And I want to get together with Bob to discuss the road clearing, but it's something I don't feel we need to discuss here in an open meeting. Discuss that with him later. But that's all I have.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on.
Hey, Mayor, excuse me.
Yes.
Since the chief's taking in here, how about, can you find out where we're staying with that recreation damage we have to park?
On that bathroom?
Yeah, he handled the case, so he had all the tapes and everything, but I haven't heard anything about
Did we ever get reimbursed?
No. And we're pushing a year. So if you see the chief, will you ask him, Mayor?
I'll give him a call tomorrow.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Anything on finance? No. So we'll sit there. Okay. Yes, George.
As far as getting things ready, I know that Kim has the revenue side pretty much done and submitted to the county to get that thing rolling. I believe it might behoove us to begin the process of the budget for the year. Could we maybe do that next council meeting, 6 o'clock?
Sure.
That'd be okay.
Just to
everybody?
set it up, right?
Yeah, just to
It's
begin
not gonna
looking
be
into
anything
it.
to monthly, but I was going to suggest that we have a meeting
Yeah, see where
to
we're at.
where we could start, but
Get the
this
process
here will
going.
just be to where we start
Mhm.
or where we're at.
Yeah.
And then we'll set the meetings up then.
Yeah.
Because we waited too long last year.
We're gonna be getting into February. It's about the time we started last year.
Right.
Yeah.
It was,
I
it
mean,
was
we're already
way
late
too
again.
late.
We're,
and
yeah,
now-
late
we're,
again,
we're
so,
going
yeah.
on the same schedule.
Right. I think we should start in January with it.
Mr. Huggins, when's that gonna be into this county?
The end of March.
End of March.
I think we took it down to the wire too.
And I mean, we had like 7 or 8 meetings last year. I
Right.
mean, it was
But they were late meetings in here,
two,
right?
yeah,
Well,
2
we
and
just
3
have like a
hours.
weekend meeting,
I don't care.
Yeah, that'd be fine too.
you know.
Just not at 8 o'clock in the morning.
I get up at 6 every day, so I'm coming back.
That'd be you. I'm up at 5 every day.
When are you available, Jim?
Gotta be, if you do a Saturday, it's gotta be after 12 o'clock or later. Sunday I'm pretty much open.
You sleep that long? Yeah.
No, I do pretty
Oh.
good. One day we can get to sleep in Sunday.
Well, go to bed at 7 at night and then you'll be all set for 6 in the morning.
You guys wanna have a preliminary, 6 o'clock before the next council meeting, just see where we're...
Well, unless we can do a little bit before then. As far as Saturdays and stuff like that, this weekend I'll be out of town. The weekend following I should be.
God, it's gonna be February already.
It's February already anyway, type thing. But at least it's not the 12th, because we have 3 weeks before our next meeting. That's a little bit of a gap there. We could do the 5th. Maybe do it that Tuesday. Do the off Tuesday.
You know what? I
Where's
have
that?
I'm council meetings February 5th, 6th, and 7th. I'll be back. Yeah, I'll be leaving Tuesday morning and I'll be back Thursday,
Oh,
late
okay.
afternoon.
How about any time next week? We're only gonna set things up. Well, instead of waiting till the first meeting. I mean, next week is free. I don't know if everybody's free or not.
Thursday's my best night.
Huh?
Monday or Thursday's usually my best night.
We got revenues.
Just start looking at the expense side. Start getting our budget together a little bit.
Like Johnny had requested, but we haven't even
Got with the
met with any
department
department
heads.
heads or anybody yet.
I think we almost
Or
need to do
haven't
that
sent a
before
letter
we...
out or anything. And
It
heard
depends.
at least what they're asking
We could
for.
do that part first, or do our beginning part first before we invite them in.
Either way, yeah.
Either way, I'm flexible. Whatever you guys want to do as far
I
as
don't
that
care.
goes.
I'm not traveling right now, other than the sales meeting that week of February 5th through the 7th, so I'm available every night.
You wanna go next
There's
Thursday,
not much of
31st?
first week in February.
I could do the 31st.
Thursday, 31st? Ready?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
What time?
What time?
Let's just go at,
Huh?
6 o'clock, 5 o'clock?
I will not be here.
What time, Jim?
He
got a board
says
meeting.
5 or 6. What do you want?
Let's go with 6.
Are you working that day?
Yeah, well, yeah, 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
6?
6 o'clock.
All right, that's next Thursday then, 31st.
Do we want department heads there, or do we want to just do our own little thing to start things out?
I said I won't be there. I
Yeah.
got a board
That's
meeting.
why yeah.
I got a special board meeting on the 31st.
What time's that, Bob?
I think it starts at 6. That's the last day, right? 31st?
But you're gonna be out of town, right? the 5th.
Print out, and they
Yeah.
can present their printout. and
I mean,
just-
you
my
can
case.
do it without me.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Well, I was gonna say, the department heads on the 5th.
Well, Adam said something that's probably a decent idea. Maybe we can just have a meeting absent department heads, but have them just present their request in paper form for us to look over together for our discussions.
That's fine.
This way, it might make things a little bit quicker and easier.
Is that too fast for you guys? 31st?
Can you have something to us on paper about your budget?
31st?
Yeah, we should have something.
Just something on paper. And while he's here, you wanna ask?
Yeah.
Can I ask him that question?
Wait till we get this meeting set up. Wait.
No, about the park.
Yeah, I mean, wait.
Okay,
Guys,
go
guys,
ahead.
after we get this all settled.
So the
Thursday,
31st,
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock?
Okay.
Okay, so that's,
I won't be able to fight for my department heads.
Well, this is not the
We're just
final.
accepting.
This is
I know,
a
but
first-
you know,
Want to see what they have in writing,
Okay.
and then we can discuss it from that point forward. At least we'll.
you gotta start scratching it off.
So I shouldn't bring the red pen down?
You're way
Is that
out.
what you're saying?
Go ahead, Chief Sagan, Mr. Bertel has a question for you.
The park, the damage we had at the park last year, where we at with that? You have any idea?
I think we might have to take it on the civil court on that for the money.
They never did anything about it? I mean, nothing?
I believe right now is I think they're investigated, they found him, but I don't know if we can hold him accountable to make him pay the money, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, he's a juvenile, his parents are not responsible?
But he's just, it should be responsible, you might have to take the parents to small claims court before you get to collect the money off of them.
Can you find out and let us know?
Yeah, I'll talk to Sam tomorrow.
Okay?
Yeah.
Sam Tate, yeah.
Yeah, Sam Tate, yeah. Because I know they found him, but I mean, I don't know if it's a full amount of money, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The rest of the money you might take the small claims court on, you know what I mean?
How far did we go there, Ernie? What's that intel?
Well,
What was the damage? It was a couple grand, wasn't it?
Yeah, those doors were like 15
I think they only made him pay just for so many slats of the vinyl fencing, that's it, I don't know if they
I
made.
mean, I'd have to get with Joe.
Did they pay anything, though?
Damages were on what?
They didn't pay
They didn't get a
anything so far,
restitution
right?
check, they probably didn't pay you anything. But then again, I mean, they don't have the money. Right.
Well, I would think if that's the case, couldn't we get some community service out of him?
Something.
Or out of the mom, out of somebody? Put a paintbrush in their hand or a broom or something?
We can't do it.
The court would have to do it?
Yeah. I think the only thing he charged him for was the slats for the fence. and
I
that's
think
what
you're
he
right,
was-
because I don't think that they could tell that he did anything with the door.
Yeah, exactly, so that's what, I think that's what I talked to Sam about, because I think it was a bill of $2,000 something, if not more,
we couldn't prove that he damaged the door. So,
We don't have video before.
Couldn't tell what he was doing.
all
as
he,
far
all
as
we
the
had him
door.
doing is busting the
Busting the
slats.
slats up. Couldn't
Yes,
tell
we have
if
him
he
on
was
videos of
door.
the slats, but we don't have him damaging the door.
Cameras up
Yeah,
here.
camera, yeah.
Doors back here.
Yes.
I would think with all that video footage she put up, though, there would be a picture of those doors in shape, and
We
then
looked
in
up.
that same video.
We look at hours and hours of every minute of the video.
Cameras don't even shine on the door.
No, they don't.
Okay.
No.
All right, Joe, thank you. Just let us know.
Yeah,
if those
I'll get
ones-
with Sam.
All right. And get with Ernie or whatever.
Yes, you be in tomorrow, Ernie?
I'll be around, yeah.
Okay, I'll call June up for it.
Okay.
All right.
All right, thank you. I'll talk, yes.
I want to make a motion to excuse Jeff. I got a text from him that he had a funeral and picked up a body. He should have called. Sorry, he forgot. Now I have to make a motion to excuse him.
Second that. Good content.
You doing it? Second out?
I'll second it. We asked him for communication in the past, and this, although it's late and it's, it is communication, regardless of the content. So I do second.
Bertel,
Yeah.
Eric,
Yes.
Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Irvin,
Yes.
Peter.
Yes.
Okay, let's move on. Adam, you have anything in ordinance?
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Okay. Jody, anything on safety?
Yes, we had a safety meeting on the 14th. Hold on one second here. And I had a nice little report in my phone, and apparently it is not in there. Come on. Ah, here we go. We had a safety meeting on 1/14/19, attendance by safety committee members Jody Lynn Fitzgerald and Jack Bertel. Mr. Herrick was out of town that night. Chiefs Joe Sagan and John Wright, Service Supervisor Tim Eddy, Millie Huggins, Susie Huggins, and Kyle Moffett were in attendance. Meeting was held to discuss Grandview Avenue no parking sign installed recently in front of 215 Grandview Avenue. The Packer and Snowplow have been having issues with parked cars coming up Lockhart and turning onto Grandview. Also issues at the intersection of Western and Grandview making turns. Mrs. Huggins has applied for a handicap parking spot. Joe made a copy of the doctor's prescription. Tim said that he would get paint, have the handicap spot designated where she always parks. That should leave plenty of room at the bottom. There should be no issues turning up from Lockhart. Joe said that the Steubenville has a permitted handicap parking. He was going to check and see what was involved with doing that, to have an actual permit handicap spot, and was going to advise on what exactly Steubenville does and if we needed to do anything with that. The no parking yellow lines need repainted at the bottom of Grandview on both sides, at least 8 to 10 feet up from Lockhart. There needs to be a handicap parking place painted at 215 Grandview. Also need to look at painting the yellow curb lines where Western Avenue meets Grandview so squads, packer, and plows can make the turn easily. Chiefs also mentioned other areas that yellow lines are needed due to safety concerns on the following streets: Sycamore, Warren, Edward, George, Madison, Garfield, Hallock, Logan at Commercial North, and Center Avenue East and West. So,
If I could add something to that. The one girl that lives in Father Joe's has moved out. So there's only one car on the other side, so there shouldn't be any problems. Once the weather clears, the paint down there, so she's gone. So as of right now, they can make the bends on any vehicles if they need to.
and it almost seemed during the safety meeting that there was almost more of a problem on the upper end of the street turning from Western onto Grandview than there was from Lockhart turning up Grandview, except for when it was snow and, if cars parked down a little too close, then the plow had trouble making that turn. But,
I got the copy of the ordinance.
oh, do you?
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll get it from
Give it to Ernie.
Okay. Or walk around and... And that's all I have. Oh, wait, I do have one more thing. I'm sorry. I saw on Wilson Avenue down from the school. Where exactly is our corporation limit? Is that us? Is that the township's responsibility?
Township and county. It's usually a township. I think it's a county road.
It is really, it was bad the other day. I mean, a big chunk chunks of ice on the road.
Our sign is down there almost by Range Road. That's before Range Road,
Right, that's where it is.
So it is
Right.
it is in our corporation limit then.
No, it's
No,
not.
it isn't.
No, you're talking about the
below
one
the
going
driveway,
down. I'm talking
Carlos's
about the
house.
one right down from the school. That's getting right
Carlos
across from the
is?
old DeCarlo's house. It's that's nasty down there, and it seems
will
like
look at
there's
it.
a lot of water runoff, a lot of ice. And I had a bunch of complaints about the water bills being high. Is anybody else
You
had?
know, it's,
It was an actual read, so
It was an
if
actual
the
read, so if it
estimates
was
were
estimated,
low,
it was
this was
Then
this
this
was
was-
the makeup bill, you know,
Okay.
for.
Well, I
for
told
that.
people to, check the time frame, make sure it was 30 days and not, maybe it was a 6-week cycle. I wasn't sure. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. My bill was unusually low.
Is that it?
my brother's at $4.
Yeah.
He's taking care of me or what?
Right.
Jack, anything on service, building roads or transportation?
No, Mayor.
Streetlights, Adam.
No report, Mayor.
Okay. George, anything on water and sewage?
Yeah, I have some things. First of all, second of all, will be a quick, I promise, very, very, very quick, but about like maybe a little, 5-minute little thing here.
Should have never put that in.
Popcorn here.
Thanks, Kyle.
Oh, sorry, no popcorn. and yeah, thanks, Kyle. Give me a chance. But
Hey, I even used it too in my safety.
oh yeah, this is me a brief moment. This is just on sleep, so it's not going to take but
Creator
quick
monster,
moment.
Kyle.
You what?
Created a monster.
Oh, it's a blessing. It gives all those here who haven't seen the projector run, you get to see the projector run, so that's great. It's wonderful.
And
All
it
right,
definitely
so-
works best with those 4 lights in the back turned down.
That pump downstairs. That's my sump pump. Take it off. That's not air conditioning.
Yeah,
Huh?
those two. Yeah.
Yeah, the boiler's working okay. I had people looking at it.
Yeah.
They're actually going to come right down and take another look at it. We got one of the reps from McLean.
There you go.
This is why this.
Brief water and wastewater.
Oh, yeah, very,
He's
very, very
even
brief.
labeling it.
This is why.
Thanks for
It's
that,
going to be brief.
thanks for
I
that.
did promise that.
Adding that adjective in there.
Meetings besides this.
Alright. Alright, so we'll do this part first. I have a few questions after this is over. I want to ask you a couple of things, but. Okay, let's see how this goes. Let me get out of the way. No matter what I'm going to do, I'm going to stand here, Jack, for a change. Move over here. This is a little different. Alright. Let's, I don't remember turning this on. There we go. Alright, so just real quick, we'll run through. Here's the wastewater fund from this past year. The numbers here were current as of 12/28/18. So here's where I get to publicly eat a little bit of crow to Bob here. This is great times for Bob, because I did not expect us to meet that revenue target. But Bob assured me, yes, we were, and Jack was one who mentioned to take a look into that 1 meter and all the work that Kyle's been doing down there. We got revenue up to meet expenses, and we're in the black for the year there for 2018. And the sewer fund's been pretty steady, around 400,000 in the balance, which is good for any major thing that may arise, and it's maintaining there with our current rate structure. Now, for water, I want to go back a little bit in time real quick. Here's 2011. This one guys will see a little bit from a few years past. So here's 2011. Notice the revenue and expense there. Our revenue is half of the expenses that 1 year. Referencing that was, of course, an atypical experience. Notice the balance there going down, 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 and such were years around 2011 and before that. 2012, you see some rate adjustments in place and some expense reductions. One of which was due to the extension in the payment period and time for the for the water treatment plant loan, which for construction and things like that. So we see up there's revenue, some rates were changed, and expenses were a bit lower to bring ending balance still at a very uncomfortable 200,000. I say uncomfortable because anything major happens in the water department, sometimes with a tank or something like that, that's not enough to cover much of anything, and that is shaky ground. And here we see revenue, again around $1 million, expenses a little bit lower, based upon the little time span wherein there was no payment upon the water treatment plant. We had a little bit of a buffer zone of no payments, and then they kick in right here. They kick back in with the expenses going to about 1.3. Revenue only 1, so of course balance again free falls from 400 down to 253,000. And the free fall does continue. 2015, we go from 153 down to 37,000 in carryover, and getting a little bit, we'll say, risky. Well, we're going to say quite risky with how we were going with the operation. But trying to do what we can just to make balances, cutting expenses where we can, doing the best we can to be cognizant of people's financial situations also. 2016, we have a different rate structure in place, revenue's up, expenses are still kept down due to cost management type things. And the balances finally go up from 37 to 223,000. And then from 223 to 511,000, 512,000 almost. Look at that revenue of 1.4. Now we're starting to build a little bit. And then here, 2018, again, current as of 12/28, we see $807,000 approximately ending balance as of that point in time, due to 1.6 in revenue and 1.3 in expense. Of course, the hope is to get the balances up enough so we can start using that and putting that money back to pay the payments for the water treatment plant. And then hopefully get that money back on the side, maybe invest a little bit to get interest on it, to pay off that water treatment plant, and then to evaluate the rate structure in a happy manner finally, to reduce the burden.
We can't pay it off early, though.
No, but we can put the money back if we don't touch it.
Set the money aside.
Taking all
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
ideas, George.
Huh?
You're taking all my ideas, George.
I'm not. This is Bob's idea. Yes, I'll give you some credit for that stuff. Absolutely. Now, of course, the reason for that type of thing. Here is the water treatment plant loan from WDA. The final payment will be is due. We'll say January 1st, 2026. Current principal outstanding of $3.1 million. Principal and interest looking at about $3.6 million left to pay on the water treatment plant. Now we did have a 5.77 interest rate on that. We're getting a subsidy rate of 4%, which leads to a reduction of almost $500,000 from the interest payments that they've adjusted down for us a few years ago. So that is a help there. We also have the Lick Avenue CSO, WDA loan again. That final payment's due on the January 1st, 2034, and that payment is always $61,337.68 twice a year. Current principal outstanding there is $1.7 million as of January 1st. Current water rate structure, as we all know, right? 30 for the debt service, 2 for capital improvement, and the variable water usage, of course, 1150 or 575 for over 150,000 gallons, 1265 for Alva Village, and for the wastewater, 8 for the CI, 15 for the first 2, and 5 for each 2 thereafter. So of course, some things that keep us focused on this: we're charging, this we're paying, and those are some of the reasons why. So upcoming, some things to be in our mind thinking about: water treatment replacement program. Now I'm a big AMI guy, but AMR beats by leaps and bounds what we currently have. So if it's an AMR system and we get the whole entire village redone, I'm a happy individual about it. If it's AMI, I'm a much happier individual. But
I'm going to make you happy, George. I'm not going to make you ecstatic.
I can definitely live with that. I'm sure the village can also having something that will give us a reading every month, and will be easier for our workers to do, and something we can keep better
We can
track
monitor
on.
those also.
Yeah, we can definitely.
You can monitor those for our purposes. They'll work fine.
Yeah, and of course with the increased demand with the mill, the additional workforce needed, as Bob mentioned already, and of course the CSO great EQ tanks, some things to keep in mind as far as possible cost increases, but also some of these cost increases are due to revenue increases by demand, which are the best increase to get. Increase in demand of people out there working, and of course things functioning well throughout the village. So that's just want to keep those 4 things in mind. The water replacement program, we got to hit that hard this year. As Bob's been mentioned, we got to budget that accordingly. Bob's saying maybe 500. I'd like to see 1,000 or all of it done this year. If I don't think I can swing all of that, I know. But think and plan. Hopefully, we'll see how do as much as we can. The sooner that's all in place, the better off our system will be, and the better off our village residents will be. All right, end of that.
George, that was brief for you.
Yeah, I tried to go quick. I really did.
But he's probably not done yet. So.
I also have some questions. Just some questions pertaining to, this is all pertaining to water. Sorry, Kyle. But this question is right here.
I'm going good.
Oh, good, yeah. So don't. I know George isn't here tonight, and stuff, but just a couple of questions. The aerator. I've heard a couple of things. EPA side. What's the condition of the aerator?
It needs to be painted. It needs to be cleaned up and painted, that's all.
Because they use the word disrepair.
No, they're wrong.
Okay, the disrepair could be varying degrees of disrepair.
It's ugly, but it just needs to be.
Because it's functional. It's
functional,
operational,
it's
right? I
working.
mean, yeah.
It's working.
Gotcha.
I'm not worried about
Yeah,
it.
I understood. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I talked to George about that today. I said,
Oh,
we're going
okay.
to take care of that. Put some paint on it. Might try to even do it in-house.
Oh, okay. And the ground around the Deedale tank, is that, I heard it's a little bit saturated, is that due to leak from the tank, or is that
That's
from
first I've-
springs
that's the first
around?
I've heard.
Or one thing the person at EPA mentioned to me, I'll have to take a look at that and give you some information on that.
I don't
And
think our tank's leaking up there. We don't have any problems with it, that's for sure.
but it could be, they mentioned maybe a spring or something underneath
Yeah.
causing,
Well, there's a bunch of springs up
all
on
over
the
around there,
hill.
yeah. So that's what it maybe very well could be. They mentioned maybe tank, and that's like,
No.
And the Deendale tank, where do we stand as far as timeline, as far as inspection?
I think that we've had it inspected. I know that we had somebody go down in it. I have to talk to George exactly what has been done, because I'm changing the valves up there also.
Oh, okay.
Because they wouldn't hold.
Mhm.
So, I know that we've had that looked at up there.
I thought so, but I couldn't remember when or what the
Mhm.
result was.
Yeah, I looked at it.
Okay.
I think it was, I want to say George said it was inspected or it was getting
Yeah,
inspected
I
because
think
it
it
had
was
been like
inspected
9
already.
years and it needs to be done.
Because it was due, he mentioned it when he was
I'm
here.
pretty
I
sure
can't
it was
remember.
inspected already, so I will find out for
Sure
sure.
it was getting
Because I
done.
know we had, I think it was Albies.
Bryson Brothers.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it was done
Yeah.
about 13 or 14.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about just lately.
Yeah.
Talking about 13 or 14 a year?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're doing something here lately.
Mhm.
Yeah, 'cause
This
it's
was done
supposed to be
lately.
every 5 years.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be.
With that being
Inspected.
said, for me, nothing else at this
Thank
time.
you, Joy. That was a nice presentation. Appreciate it.
Like, sorry for the lack of color. I went brief. I had charts too, but I figured, oh
I
well.
started throwing things out.
I like that.
No popcorn or nothing, buddy.
Jack,
I still bring
anything
popcorn.
on, recreation.
Yeah, we got a meeting scheduled for the 6 o'clock on Monday the 28th. Really it's going to pertain towards the baseball field a lot. There is a contract in place with Indian Creek.
For the up on it.
Well, they had to have a contract when they get the loan, the grant they got from the Pittsburgh Pirates. So Boston's bring me a copy of it. They have it on file.
I remember that. Is that for
I don't
3 fields or
either.
2 fields?
2 fields.
2 fields, I know. it's
Now
2
they
fields.
want 3 fields now. Because there's no fields left. And they want to split the Deendale field. I told them that's up between them and Christian School. Christian School will be here too.
There's a lady who called from the Christian school. She couldn't get a hold of you or something.
That's also used by Indian Creek Soccer too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Called, yeah.
What they use the softball field?
What's that? A softball field for soccer?
Yeah, there's, oh, is that what they want to
Yeah, it's just, they use it for soccer down there.
When's the meeting? When you set up the meeting?
28th, this Monday coming, at 6 o'clock. Be me and Adam and Mike and you if you're available or if you're working.
Afternoon.
But I know David Fernie will be here, and I did talk to, oh boy, Chief from Brent. He works in the mill, so I don't know if he's gonna make it or not. But I told him I'll get a hold of him, let him know.
I'll get a hold of a couple other people out there. The one baseball coach, he may be free. I'll give him a
Okay.
heads up on it. Then.
Yeah. That's all I have, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Jody, anything on health and pension?
No.
George or Jody, anything on senior citizens?
Nothing.
Okay, nothing on VHJ. Adam, anything on annexation?
No report, Mayor.
Chicken. Go on down there.
Let's see. We have any, Adam, anything on economic development? George.
I'd like to schedule a meeting at 6 o'clock directly preceding our next council meeting, which is the 12th. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. 12th at 6.
What is that, George?
Economic Development Committee meeting at 6 on Tuesday the 12th, directly before the council meeting.
2-year-olds writing in my calendar.
It looks legible. Look at that.
I wrote a backwards S the other day.
Skill.
That's it, George?
Oh, yes.
Okay, council rules, we have anything to report?
Nothing to report. I'd like to schedule a meeting for that so we can start putting something together. I've been doing a little bit of.
Anybody have any is there any suggestions going about this? Or
I haven't heard anything. I mean, I've been doing personal research myself, looking online at some communities similar size to ours to see kind of what they've done. And again, I'd like to get more guidance on this to see what exactly we want to do. A lot of the things I find online are people have rules spelled out that just basically pull directly from a higher revised code and put together. I mean, we have a lot of these things already mentioned in ordinance and different things, but it's just pulling something together and putting in a document or what exactly we want to do with that. But we can put together a brief, I guess, pamphlet or similar to what other communities have done, like for example, what Jody Lynn had presented to us from Wintersville. But I'd like to schedule a meeting so the committee members and I can talk about it and just see how in depth we're going to go with this. And being that it's Mr. Herrick and Jack on the committee, we have that recreation meeting on the 28th. We can just immediately following.
Fine.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. So January 28th, immediately following the recreation meeting at 6, we'll have a rules of council meeting.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go to the audience. Let's see if anybody has anything to say. And we'll start off to you, Hernick. You have anything to say?
One thing I got to say down on commercial, we got patrolmen, the cops, the policemen are patrolling commercial a little bit, slowing them down, so that helps. But a new road down there, they think it's round 7.
Thank you. Ladies, you guys have anything? You know it's nice to see smiling faces in here.
Yeah, we don't see them very
much.
Picture with you and Stephanie after the meeting to have for Darlene's scrapbook with you presenting the proclamation to the club.
Sure. Steve, you have anything?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Amy, you're back there. How are you?
Good, how are
You have anything?
No, not today.
Okay. Yes, John.
As a citizen, not as fire chief, firefighter, I'd like to recognize, commend our police officers. Lately, they've been out on some pretty serious calls. I've heard people say at different times that this is little Mingo Junction. Well, what could happen here? Well, they do the same job as they do in the big cities, and I've seen recently on a couple of very serious calls what they do, and actually saw an officer almost get his gun taken off of him. A guy was fighting him, trying to take his gun. And I can only imagine what would have happened if he would have got that gun. But just like to recognize them for the job they do. Thank you.
Nice job.
And like I say, I appreciate that, John. You guys, the police and the fire department, you guys have a tough job to be on both sides. So appreciate it.
Thank you.
You never know what you're walking into.
Do we have anything else? We have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make one.
Craig, you second?
Second.
Taylor,
Yes.
Irvin,
Yes.
Cheryl,
Yes.
Eric, Raquel.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to this lady.
Nice job.